Good afternoon. It's a beautiful Sunday. Good day for fishing. This is Master Angler. I'm going to give you my opinion of the state of the flounder fishing, the flounder run in Galveston, 2018. I started fishing for them about a month ago, and the run was slow to start with. Lots of males coming through just as normal, but it seemed to be fewer than other years. But the run was activated by the migration of these males, and it started out slow, and then it picked up. About a week ago, I was catching and releasing about 20 flounder, and then the front came, and the water temperature went from 75.9 to 58 degrees, and that is an extreme change. And then the run seemed to be broken up at a temporary halt. That's my opinion. It's temporary. As of today, there's more males being caught and a few females mixed in, just like it would be in like the second stage of the run. But it's still not as many fish. And the fish that we were catching, the ones over 20 inches, they were kind of like in a sluggish stage. They weren't aggressively biting. We were catching them at the tip of our 4-inch lures, and I would say years past that my solution to that would go to smaller baits. We've even used crappie jigs, as we do when the speckled trout want to hit smaller baits and want to nibble at your bait. I had several 20s and fish over 20 inches spit the bait as you're netting them, or spit the bait in the net. So that's my signal to go to the smaller baits. And I think this is because they're sluggish from the extreme change in temperature. That's my opinion of that. And my opinion of the run itself is the run is not over. It's still in the beginning stage. If you have a beginning stage, if you count the stages in 4 stages, I think it's still like 2.5. I hope you understand that, what I mean. You get a run of the small ones, then you get a mixture of small ones to the larger 20s, 19s and 20s, and then you start getting 22s and 24s. I think it's in that stage where we're catching 19.5s and 20s and still some males. Because when the run is really on in the late November like it is now, without that extreme temperature change, I would be catching 20s up to 24s and 25s. So if that gives you some idea of, I think, what's upcoming, the next week will show it, and probably the previous weeks. If we start consistently catching 20s, between 20s and 23s, then we can say the run is still on, full-blown run is on. But you should start seeing a lot more 20-inch fish and less of the small males. So I wouldn't say that the run is over, like a lot of people are saying that the run is come and gone. I don't believe that. I've done this for many years. I've saw this many times, where it's a temporary break in the run for the extreme temperatures, and as this water warms back up to maybe 65 or 66, you'll see the run continue at its normal rate. I've been told by some biologists that the flounder are not recovering like they thought they would with the changes in the limits, but still we should be catching more than 4 and 5 flounder per day, catching and releasing, that is. So Still next week, if you get a chance, come out, go to your favorite flounder spot, and if they are nibbling at your bait and still sluggish, go down a couple of sizes. Go from using a 3/8 jig head to maybe a 1/8 inch jig head with a smaller bait. Instead of a 4-inch, go to a 2.5 or even a 1-inch bait. Like I said, I've used crappie jigs. That way when they are making a serious aggressive move at your bait, they're going to open their mouth and swallow it. You might have to cut a lot of baits out and get the bait out later and keep that fish, and that way they won't spit it out when they're being netted. So let's use next week, after the next front comes in, as a benchmark. If you don't start catching 20s and fish 19.5 to 20 all the way up to 24-inch, then we might start thinking we might have a small problem, or the run will continue later on up into late December. So that's my opinion of the flounder run and the state of the flounder. Good luck.